Welcome back to Leading Blind. Today we will be discussing the 2007 miniseries from Sci-Fi, Tin Man. Tin Man was directed by Nick Weiling and features music by Simon Boswell, who's also known for such movies as Tenebrae, Delirium, and Lord of Illusion. So he's a massive horror movie score writer. I thought that was fun. And it stars a hit-and-miss cast of Zooey Deschanel, Alan Cumming, Neil McDonough, Max von Trier, Kathleen Robertson, Richard Dreyfuss, Callum Keith Rennie, Blue Benkumna, Alana Galvin, and Ted Whittle. As you can imagine, Tin Man is basically a remake / reimagining adaptation of the L. Frank Baum book, The Wizard of Oz, or I believe it is The Wonderful Wizard of Oz in its original title. And it's a beautiful, glorious, guilty pleasure of a hot mess. Those who have been following me are aware of how very much I love Wizard of Oz. I've been obsessed with it for all of my 36 years, and this was just another thing to add to the docket. I think that the standouts in this movie are Alan Cumming, Richard Dreyfuss, and Neil McDonough. And I think just about everybody else is either hit and miss or abso-fucking-lutely dreadful. So here it is. DG is a very young waitress in Kansas who one night gets swept away in a magical / scientific storm to the outer zone, where she meets Glitch, played by Alan Cumming, Neil McDonough, who plays the titular Tin Man, who is a former police officer in Central City, and Raw, played by Raul Trejo. It turns out Glitch used to be an advisor to the Queen of Oz before the sorceress Ascadelia, played by Kathleen Robinson, had half of his brain removed because he knew too much about what she was up to. There's a lot of confusion, but basically the beats are the same. Dorothy is brought to Oz by a cyclone, which is called the Travel Storm. She has a mom and dad who are supposed to be the Aunt Em and Uncle Henry equivalents, but turn out to be robots who are nurture care units. There is a wizard, although he's basically a washed up fraud who was once a good man, now hooked to this thing called bliss, a drug. Raw, who's the Cowardly Lion equivalent, of course, is some kind of an empathic psychic, so they touch people and they can find their memories, they can read minds, they can feel things that people are feeling, and they can even project memories onto things like mirrors and other reflective surfaces. Kane, who's supposed to be the Tin Man equivalent, is the former cop from Emerald City, known as Central City in this show. And his whole backstory is that he is a rebel for the Alliance who is up against the sorceress Ascadelia, who took over the OZ, and his family was taken from him and he was left in this iron suit thing for years with a projection in front of him of the day that his arch nemesis Zero, another Tin Man and soldier of Ascadelia's, found out he was a member of the Alliance. So there's this whole hot mess of him wanting revenge and wanting to find his family, even though at first he thinks they're dead. As soon as he finds out they're alive, he wants to find them bad. But to be honest, this movie, it could be called Tin Man, there's nothing wrong with it, but it's, in spite of the emotional arc that this character goes through, I don't feel like he's the heart of the story, no pun intended. This definitely felt like DG's story to me. The Mystic Man is the first one who recognizes her because she is the other princess of Oz, sister of the evil sorceress Ascadelia, who in and of herself is not evil. She does do magic, but she is possessed by a dark witch, and the dark witch has evil things in store for the OZ. DG and Asgadelia's parents are Lavender Eyes. No, she's not given a proper name in the story. And Ahamo, Omaha spelled backwards for those of you who are interested and are paying attention. And Ambrose, aka Glitch, knew DG when she was a little girl. So all these things come together, and it's just, I don't really know what to say about this movie. There are munchkins, there's an old road, also known as the Yellow Road, there is the Central City, there is an emerald, there is a Wicked Witch of the West who melts at the end. There is a quote-unquote poppy field, although it is known as the fields of the Pepe, which are the local creature people that live there. There are so many things. There is a Toto, even though Toto is some kind of shape-shifting man who used to tutor Asgadelia and DG when they were children. I could go on and on about this story and tell you all the weird things, but some of it is so freaking convoluted. There is some royally bad and dated CGI and blue screen, green screen. There is a lot of really bad acting and bad line reading for a fairly bad script. But I'll tell you what, Alan Cumming, Neil McDonough, they make this movie. They are the ones who make you want to follow them through the rest just to get away from the pain of everybody else. There are other people like Raul Trujillo. He's okay. You know, he's not great. He's not bad. He's there. He's not, you know. Richard Dreyfuss has a very short role, and the role he's playing is kind of a guy who spends most of his 15 minutes high as fuck. So, you know, he does a good job at that. I recognize some of these people. Obviously, Alan Cumming, I would know from the first Annie remake that was on the Wonderful World of Disney TV premiere. I know him from X-Men 2 because he played Nightcrawler. I know Zooey Deschanel, but I wish I didn't. And I know Richard Dreyfuss because I absolutely freaking adore Richard Dreyfuss. The only other person I recognized looking over their filmography was Ms. Robertson, who plays the witch Asgadelia, well, the witch/sister Asgadelia, because she played a waitress in the Sean Penn movie I Am Sam. Like, I actually, when I saw I Am Sam waitress, said Big Boy's waitress. I'm like, I know exactly who that is. That scene is a very memorable scene. It's not her that makes it shine, but I remember her in that scene. Small role, thankless role. What do you want? So, in spite of the cheesiness and a lot of the horrible acting, there are a lot of fun lines, most of them coming from Alan Cumming himself, but on top of that, there are a lot of Oz tributes in this movie. In the beginning, DG is trying to get to work on her motorcycle, and she thinks she loses the cop that's after her, but then when she goes to serve a customer at the diner, it's Gulch. Officer Gulch, as in Elmira Gulch, as in the Wicked Witch of the West parallel lady from the original Judy Garland movie. The address of the farmhouse she lives at is 39, which is the year the Wizard of Oz movie came out. Most of the, you know, the acknowledgments and the little cute, what do you call them? Iconic peekaboos are from the Judy Garland movie. But the score at the end of the movie makes me think of the movie Return to Oz. Like, I recognized a lot of chords and the way the melody went. It wasn't a knockoff, it was just, it felt like an homage. There were so many little things. There's the Gray Gale, which I can't explain to you, which of course refers to Dorothy Gale, which was a person back when, so there was already a Wizard of Oz story in the past at some point. And DG is named for that character, that person. There's the Yellow Brick Road, of course. There are the Munchkins. Oh my god, these Munchkins. They like live high up in the trees, which kind of look like pathetic redwoods. And they are savage little shits that flay people alive in order to get information from them. A lot of Glitch's introduction is because of that, because they're both hanging from a cage there. And he's like, the little ankle biters, and it's just... He's the one that comes up with the best lines. I'm sorry, I keep coming to that. I'm trying not to turn this review into the All Hail Alan Cumming show, but there it is. There's a lot of lines that homage. Some of those come from Asgadeela, because she's like, she's going to see the wizard. You know, she uses the word bitch a lot. She's like, the little bitch is going to see the wizard and stuff like that. The last line in the show is, it feels so good to be home. And lots and lots and lots and lots of little homages, which I can't even begin to talk about. There was a moment where DG acknowledges all three of the characters that she's been traveling with this whole story for their heart, their brains, and their courage. And so many things. Little moments like, you know, when the Scarecrow does this in the Wizard of Oz movie, there's something like that a woman does with two other women, or another, she is the woman with 6 arms, something like that. I think she's doing it with 3 other women, so she looks like she has 6 arms. But they do this weird version of that, and Glitch goes, and you thought I was bad at directions, which is a perfect callback. Just so many moments that I do love, in spite of the horrible acting, almost entirely coming from Zooey Deschanel's character. Sorry, Zoe, if you ever see this. You've probably been better in other things. I've just seen a couple of things you've been in that are shit, and your kind of okay performance in Once Upon an Actress. Sorry. Everybody's got their ups and downs. Oh, I've told you everything there is to know about this movie. I'm not trying to make this a short review. I'm trying to make this a not 3-hour long like the mini-series review. So you know all the important things. I still think it's worth a watch. Go watch it. Thank you for your patience with me because I missed last month due to my eyesight problems. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and comment, and I will see you next month.